Good morning, good morning. Fall is here and welcome back to another Saturday Somm-things with Mats. Hi, I'm Mats and there's a crisp in the air, and today I have a very special guest, a good friend. It's her first time at the table. Everybody please welcome Brandy Bradshaw Robinson. She works for Import Ports, which might sound redundant, but it's not, because her portfolio is stunning. So Brandy, welcome to the table.
Thank you.
And nothing says good fall ports like Cockburn ports with a little kringle, but this is your show, so let's take it away.
Yeah, it's finally time to start talking about ports and fortified wines, and
Right.
the holidays right around the corner. And with the snow we got last weekend, people are starting to think about like what can really warm the soul.
True.
And so Coburn's port is certainly that. But just to kind of give you a little bit of details about the history of port and Portugal and how it came to be. Port is a fortified wine, which means it's fortified with a neutral spirit.
Right.
And during fermentation, as the sugar is high and the alcohol is low, you get this sugars going down, alcohol's going higher.
Exactly.
And then they add a brandy to it, a neutral spirit, and that stops the fermentation. So it remains a little bit on the sweeter side, and it's also higher in alcohol because of that brandy.
Absolutely. And something special about port, you can buy it, put it in a nice decanter, keep it in your pantry or your cupboard. It won't go bad and it won't improve because the process is already finished. Brandy said it's high in alcohol, 19% usually. It's fortified, so the process is already done. And it's a beautiful thing.
And it was really nice because we have 3 different styles here today.
Right.
We have a white port, which a lot of people aren't familiar with unless you've gone over as a tourist into Portugal. It's like the perfect aperitif on a hot summer day in Portugal. We've got a ruby and a tawny. And so the difference between those is just a matter of time in oak. So with ruby ports, you're looking at about like maybe 3 years in oak on average when it's blended. So it retains a lot of that fresh fruit. And then with tawny ports, they're a little bit older, aged in smaller pipes.
Right.
And then those are what we have today is more like 9 years in oak. But you'll see that there are different dated aged tawnies. You have like 10-year tawnies, 20-year tawnies.
30, 40.
Yes, 30, 40. So along with vintage ports. So, I mean, we could go on and on about the different styles of port. We have tons of them here at Argonaut. But what we're focusing on today is Cockburn's. And Cockburn's is one of the properties that the Symington family acquired about 15 years ago. For 50 years, it was under corporate ownership, and then the Symington family purchased it. It was one of the first properties producing port in the Douro Superior, closest to Spain. And so that's really one of the best growing regions. And the Cockburn's properties are a lot of Trigo Nacional, kind of like the prize varietal of Portugal. It's similar to a Cabernet. It has the structure and the tannins. There's also Trigo Franca, which is similar to Merlot. It has like a velvety characteristic, and it has a lot of aromatics to it.
Just like this white port.
Oh, this white port is amazing.
It is.
What's really special about this new line from Cockburn's is the way that it's blended is specifically for cocktails. So we made it a little bit more exuberant on the nose and a little bit drier in style, so it's not going to be as like sweet as maybe some other fine ruby and fine tawnies. This is also all coming from estate fruit and A-rated vineyards, so it's very, very high quality. But you can tell by the bottles, right, that they're shaped like a cocktail shaker to kind of give people a little bit more of a fun way to use port. So we're going to taste them on their own because they're lovely on their own.
I like it.
And then
is
we
dry.
have the
It
cocktails.
is dry.
Yeah. So Cockburn's, it's one of the brands that I represent that we can have a little bit of humor with. The CK is silent. It's not Cockburn. It's Cockburn's. And so it's funny because in the 70s, there was a lot of like advertising going on in the UK that had a lot to do with the pronounced responsibly. So Cockburn's is one of the brands we can have a little bit more fun with. And so you can tell by the label, it's colorful. It represents a lot of what you find in Oporto. And kind of this new experimental cocktail
and I have one here.
Excellent.
Brandy made this beautiful festive Cockburn cocktail perfect for the holidays. Just look at the pink peppercorns and the rosemary.
Rosemary, yeah.
Yes.
I thought that would be great as we're going into fall.
Beautiful.
Because a lot of times the typical cocktail would have like mint and lime, and that's very nice for the summertime.
Yeah.
But this, I think, gives it a little bit of that holiday feel.
Right, I like it.
And it's really fun to
love the
introduce
smell.
this to your friends whenever you're having a get-together. It's about 50-50. I used the Fever Tree Mediterranean tonic because I like the botanicals in that.
I like that.
But I thought it'd be fun with those kind of fall components.
And everybody keep in mind it is 19% alcohol, so small amounts.
Yes.
Baby steps.
And honestly, like what I poured today is probably what you would want to pour for your guests if you're just having the port on its own.
So let's go on to number 2. Yes.
Yeah. So this is Ruby Soho, and you'll find that it has a lot of those youthful components like chocolate covered cherry, raspberry. I mean, and I love it. It just has such a
Black
great
licorice.
Yes.
Cassis.
Yes.
Beautiful. And Ruby is usually the youngest of any of the ports. Just remember, Ruby ready to drink. Boom.
That's right.
Just like right now. And there's another cocktail waiting for me. I like this because you get Kirsch and you get some of the brandy essence.
You do. Not
you,
me.
but yeah, brandy essence. I like it.
That's right.
I want to taste the cocktail. Tell us about this cocktail.
So this particular cocktail, I used the Fever Tree Sicilian Lemon Soda because I thought that gave it a really nice acidity. There's some orange peel in there, some lovely Luxardo cherries that kind of amps it up. But what's nice about this is kind of like with this lower alcohol trend that you're starting to see. People want to have cocktails that are a little bit lower in alcohol, where you find like a gin and tonic might be a little bit higher, the white port and tonic is a little bit less, but you find with this one, you're running at about 10% alcohol. So that makes it just something that you can have a couple of them, right?
Before dinner, during appetizers, during the holidays. It's a nice way to start the evening, which brings us to the end of our segment. We got one more left. Hold on.
Refreshing, right?
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
So this is
the tawny. And you can just look at the color. It has the amber color.
Yeah, gorgeous hue.
Right. I always say it's like people who like big zins prefer rubies. People who like scotches and bourbons, they prefer something like a tawny.
Yeah, because you can taste the brandy, the brown sugar, molasses, the hints of hazelnuts. It's very nutty and very soothing.
It's that the oxidation that happens. You get that caramel characteristic, and especially sitting around a fire telling stories all night long. If champagne is for celebration, port is for conversation. So sitting around and having a glass of this is great. But we did integrate it into a cocktail today.
I like that too.
So this one here that I made, this is the tawny, and it's ginger beer. It's the Fever Tree ginger beer.
That's beautiful presentation.
I know, right? Once again, red and green.
Yes.
Perfect for Christmas. But there's also a little bit of the Angostura bitters to kind of give it a little bit of that.
Je ne sais quoi.
Exactly.
That little something extra.
So that ginger beer gives it a little bit of a burn, and then you get those caramel characteristics with it, which is, I think, just
raspberry and the mint. It's just so full-bodied and tasty. And before we close our segment, what type of food would you pair with port?
I usually do something like with a ruby. Is something like a strong cheese is really nice. We always recommend something that's chocolate, like a chocolate lava cake. With tawnies, you're looking at something more like cheesecakes, bread pudding. Things that have those caramel characteristics, but even like a hard cheese, aged cheddar can be really nice.
Pecorino, Parmesan Romano.
That's right.
Great cheeses, and blue cheese would pair beautifully with these two. And I love blue cheese, and I love these ports. And as always, Miss Sheila has put them on sale, and come on down because it's the holidays. Brandy is wonderful. She makes appearances here and again. So I appreciate everybody watching. Brandy, thank you for coming to the table. Cheers, because it's been so enlightening and tasty, bottom line. So Brandy, I hope to see you at the table again.
Yes, sir.
And everybody, cheers to a safe and tasty holiday season. Cheers.